Is some of the foundation coming off there? I'm not doing so good at layering this. Ooh, that's patchy as fuck. Ooh. Okay, we won't go. It's fine. I'm not a professional makeup artist. So, hello everyone. This is actually the third time that I am attempting to record this. But I want to make sure it's right. So, the reasons I'm nervous about doing this is because lots of people have opinions about makeup. I have had extremely polarizing feelings surrounding makeup in the makeup industry. So that's why I wanted to make this video today. And there's 100 things going through my mind right now, and I keep thinking that I am streaming right now, but I'm just recording, so this is fine. Sometimes I have a worry when I push record that I'm actually going live and then I can't see the chat and people are trying to talk to me and I'm looking through at them and I'm communicating, but I'm not communicating back at them because I don't have the chat open. And anyway, so let's just launch into everything. I'm gonna put on my makeup so all of you will see the process I go through. Some of the brand names that you might see as I'm doing stuff, like this Marc Jacobs one, for example. I got this for free. So just keep that in mind that some of these products I'm using that are quote unquote bougie, I did not purchase myself, but I'll get into that a little bit later. I just had so much to talk about today that I didn't want to turn this into a 1 or 2 hour tutorial. If only everyone could see. I have this little stuffed raccoon that the camera is sitting on top of a box behind a mirror and then my monitor's behind that. Anyway, very, very interesting setup. See, look, when I'm hanging out and chatting with all of you like I'm streaming, I feel so much more comfortable. Thank you so much, dear amazing friend, for watching and for, humoring me during this awkward process of putting on some makeup. So since I have dry leaning skin, I moisturize really regularly. I don't wash my face super often. Before I stream, I will rinse my face with water. And if I tend to get like a dry patch, in particular on my right cheek here. Sometimes foundation will sort of show up a little patchy here. So when I rinse my face with water, sometimes I'll gently exfoliate with a towel, just kind of rub away any dead skin that might be there, any patchiness. And then I throw on lots of moisturizer to keep it well hydrated. I first started playing around with makeup when I was about 9 to 12. I wasn't a big makeup user growing up. And I didn't even play with it very much during that time period. I just remember pulling it out once or twice with one of my cousins when I was hanging out with her. I remember she gave me an eyeshadow palette, and I didn't even really use it. I ended up just having it in my drawer forever. But when high school rolled around, I started using pretty much just 2 products, foundation and mascara. And I used foundation to cover my dark circles under my eyes. I should highlight aspects of my skin here too, so I'll zoom in a little bit. So I have some veins that are starting to show through now. I have mature-ish skin. I am 32, and right along here, there's also a vein. This one tends to show through even through foundation. I'm not a high coverage person. I like some of the aspects of my shin. I like to show off my shins. No, I like some aspects of my skin to show through. Like, for example, I think these are moles or freckles. I tend to like these 3 to show through. I also have one here. I think this one showed up recently. Oh, look, it's like a circle. I could connect the dots to make a moon on my face. I was actually really self-conscious when I wasn't wearing makeup in high school. I never went outside without any makeup because I felt like I was ugly without it. So I was really embarrassed, especially by these dark circles under my eyes. So these are genetic. Sometimes they will look more exaggerated when I'm feeling unwell and, I lose all of the flush in my face. They can look particularly purplish greenish, depending on how I'm feeling. But I feel pretty good today. So, you can see a little bit natural skin flush in my face. Yeah, I didn't have a particularly good relationship personally with how I felt about makeup at that time. And I'm not saying there's anything particularly wrong with feeling insecure. If you out there are listening and watching and you feel insecure without makeup, if you want to address that, you can. But there's no forcing anyone to do anything. This is just my own personal experiences, and you can just take from it what you will, right? I can't control how other people perceive me, only my own thoughts and actions, you know? I felt like I looked tired and sick without any makeup on. So that's why I never really went out without any. This makeup should be I think this stuff is about a medium coverage. It's not super light coverage. It's not like BB cream or anything like that. And I also don't use tons and tons of it. I think you could probably layer it up. Oh, here I am talking about the makeup when I told myself I wasn't going to talk about the makeup I'm using. Am I going to have to refilm this? I hope not. So one particular memory that is strong in my mind regarding makeup. There was one day where I was visiting my dad. He came to pick up my brother and myself to go hang out with him for the day, and that was the first day in years that he had seen me without makeup. And I thought to myself, Dad is gonna think I look really tired. And sure enough, he looked at me and he's like, hey, you're looking really tired today. And I was like, oh yeah, I called that one. But it just kind of reinforced that negative image I had of myself without makeup. In my late 20s, I decided to buzz my hair off. As you can see, I still have it like that now. And I had really long hair at the time, so I put it up in a ponytail and I cut that all off and I donated it to an organization that made real hair wigs for children with cancer. So I'm glad I had an opportunity to do that. If anyone out there is considering buzzing your hair and you have really long hair, consider doing that, or any organization that makes wigs for people in a demographic that you really care about. Since I was changing my look already so dramatically, I decided to take an opportunity to try going makeup-less for a while. I told myself I'm going to go 1 year without wearing any makeup on my face whatsoever. None. And I'm really glad I chose to do that, because at first it was really, really hard. Like, if any of you are considering doing something like that and you're used to wearing lots of makeup, I'm just warning you, it's going to be really, really hard the first little while. It will be. But I did get to a point where I would look in the mirror and I didn't even pay attention to my dark circles at all. I didn't even notice that they were there. When I looked in the mirror, I just saw myself. I didn't see all those imperfections that I used to highlight in my mind, and I began to feel like I was getting a better relationship with my own natural skin. But at the same time, as that was happening, I was not feeling so great about, oh man, I'm putting so much foundation on right now. This is not how much foundation I usually put on. I just had so much on the back of my hand, I felt like I had to use it all. A super rambler. I am just recording. Yeah, I am just recording. I should just stop putting stuff on my face when I find myself rambling in a direction where I know that I won't edit it into the video, because I'm going to end up jumping steps and people are going to be like, Booger, how did you get from there to there? And I'll be like, oh, I'm sorry. I cut out that whole part because I was talking about something completely irrelevant and it didn't really apply to the video. So anyway, when I was developing better relationship for me personally with my own natural skin, I started resenting the makeup industry because I felt like it really drove home people's insecurities, especially with how marketing is around makeup and everyone appears to be so flawless and perfect when they wear makeup. So I spent some time thinking about makeup and how I felt about it. I'm putting too much concealer on. And whenever I'd see someone who was wearing lots of makeup during that time, when I wasn't wearing any makeup, I would have this opinion in my head about how insecure they were and how I wish that they felt more comfortable with their own skin and all this stuff. But I am aware now reflecting upon it, that a lot of that was just based on my own personal experiences that I was going through at the time. Is some of the foundation coming off there? I'm not doing so good at layering this. Oh, that's patchy as f***. Okay, we won't go. It's fine. I'm not a professional makeup artist. So, as I was saying, it's like I almost pitied people who wore lots of makeup, and now that I am in the situation that I'm in and I've been wearing lots of makeup, I see that differently because I don't feel that way about myself. I feel perfectly comfortable going outside without any makeup. There are times though when I wash off makeup after stream, especially when I'm wearing lots of makeup. And then when I completely wash it all off, I look in the mirror and I'm like, wow, you look tired, you look sick. It doesn't happen super often, but every once in a while I still comes back. Maybe it's just normal, you know, when you've seen yourself in the mirror multiple times during the day and you look so different after you remove your makeup. I think that's probably a normal thing lots of us experience when we clean off our makeup. I mean, sometimes I don't even use concealer when I'm doing streams. You can still see my under eyes a little bit, but I don't mind too much. Ooh. When I first started streaming back in October 8th of 2018, when I got a camera and I set it up and I looked at myself before I even started streaming. So this was in the first week of October when I was getting stuff set up. When I looked at myself in the camera, I thought I looked kind of sick, and I wanted to get a little bit of makeup just for myself, like not for anyone else, not because of any other reason other than I wanted to look a little bit different. So I went to the drugstore and I got some super cheap makeup. I think I spent maybe $10 on like a couple lipsticks, mascara, and some blush just to pull a little life into my cheeks and my face. I thought that made a big difference for myself and my confidence on camera too, which is definitely a thing that makeup's done for me recently. It's good. A couple months later from then, my brother's at the time partner worked in the makeup industry, and she heard me talking about how I wanted to kind of look less pale on camera, look less washed out. She had a bunch of products sitting around that were unused, and she was like, I'll send her some of these things and see if she could use them since I'm not using them. And oh my god, the package I got. Thank you again, Brothers X, if you are watching. Thank you very much. I appreciate it immensely. There were a bunch of products I had no idea what they were. I had no idea. Let's keep going here. So I started watching makeup tutorials around that time to sort of figure out what some of them were, because as I mentioned before, my experiences with makeup before, all I used was foundation and mascara and blush and a little lipstick, right? So there's especially a lot of the face products, like some of the stuff I'm using today, I had never known what to do with. Even when I was using makeup in high school, I was still lost in the makeup area in the drugstore. For anyone who's new to makeup, it's so intimidating going into anywhere where there's makeup. And if you want to try something for the first time, you're like, what do I do with? How do I choose from 100 mascaras? How do I choose from like 10,000 different foundations and stuff? For anyone who's new to makeup out there, I mean, feel free to ask people who work in that department or wander into a makeup store like Sephora or Ulta or whatever and just get people's advice about stuff, you know? And tutorials, makeup tutorials, you know? I feel like those have helped me a lot sort of navigate makeup as I've started to learn more about it. Forehead, shiny forehead. So while I was watching all those makeup tutorials and starting to get a better understanding of what the different products did and how they could work for me, I was developing a healthier relationship with makeup and my own self. You know, I felt good going out without makeup. I felt good going out with makeup. I've streamed without makeup before and talked about it. One of the main reasons I'm making this video in particular is because sometimes on stream I do a dramatic eye look, and it's not super beautiful or anything like that. It's just me playing with the makeup, and I kind of wanted to get all of my thoughts about makeup together in one video for everyone. So if I ever happen to do a makeup tutorial here and there, I know it would not be something I would pursue like the amazing makeup artists that are out there on YouTube and other places, Instagram, Snapchat, Snap, Chat, Cat Chat, Cat Chat, I'd be into that. So yeah, when I first started streaming, I was dabbling into makeup tutorials, and I was streaming 6 days a week. Let me grab the other supplies for my makeup. Next step. Eyes. We're gonna work on eyes. So I was streaming a lot. 6 days a week is a lot. I don't recommend it. If anyone out there is thinking about streaming, start out part-time. Don't go full-time. Don't go 6 days a week. Don't go 7 days a week. Go a couple days a week. But that's a whole other thing. If you want some tips on streaming and stuff, I have those videos separately on YouTube. I'm not going to delve into that too deeply. I just wanted to quickly say out there that the decision I made is very unique, and you don't want to wear yourself out. You want to be good to yourself. You know, it's important. So moving on to eyebrows. So the makeup tutorials and the time that I took to do my makeup when I was streaming lots and lots and lots was actually kind of a relaxing aspect of my routine, because I was working so hard on streaming. Content creation in general, by the way, everyone out there watching, it's a lot of work. You know, people don't just turn on the camera, record, and then upload the video. Well, some people do, but my own personal experience has not been like that. For streaming, you know, I work really, really hard at it every single day. Even the days that I'm not streaming, I'm working on stuff for the stream. And the same was when I first started. I didn't have much personal time for myself, and the makeup videos became that personal time. And for anyone out there who experiences anxiety, I highly recommend just throwing on makeup tutorials just as background noise. Many of the makeup artists have very soothing voices, and the way they talk through how they apply their makeup and sort of watching the process can be pretty relaxing. And it can be really inspiring too for anyone out there who is an aspiring makeup artist, or not even a makeup artist. I'm not an aspiring makeup artist. I just find it fun to see the transformation, because makeup can be so transformative. Kind of, I don't know, there's something really relaxing about being there with someone on a journey through their makeup. Yeah, getting absorbed in my eyebrows right now. Get right in there, powder. Get right in those brows. Create that nice arch. That's good. The makeup aspect, where I would throw in some tutorials while I do my makeup and stuff, was a little bit of personal me time that I didn't have ordinarily. So makeup became a very soothing, healthy thing, for a healthy process for me. It was nice. But I noticed after consuming enough makeup content, there's a lot of drama. There's a lot of drama in the makeup industry, and I have feelings about that. It kind of adds to that stereotype of makeup being superficial and vain, and people only care about themselves. But I think a lot of it actually has to do with the fact that a lot of these makeup artists online don't have rule books or guidebooks about how or what to do. They don't have PR representatives or managers that kind of can be a in-between for their business dealings. It's just someone in a camera putting on makeup. Often, very often, that's how it starts out. So some stuff, some dirty laundry, so to speak, is aired online, and then it goes into public news. And then everyone, even people who aren't involved in watching makeup tutorials and kind of following along with these people's personal lives, get information in news sites about how dramatic and catty the makeup industry can be. I don't think it's any more dramatic than every other industry. There's lots of cattiness and people backstabbing each other in all sorts of industries. You know, you could think of accounting, friggin' everything. Everything. There's people talk behind each other's backs all the time. But some people choose to air their dirty laundry publicly, and then that spills into cancel culture, and that's part of what has made me cautious about filming this and putting it up too, because I don't judge anyone for doing stuff unless obviously it goes against my own personal beliefs and stuff like that. And even then, I don't like marshaling an internet army against anyone. Like, if I had personal problems with someone, I would message them about it and sort it out one-on-one. You know, I wouldn't try to turn people against someone else online, because both on streaming and just general content creation, I've seen the kind of damage that can do, not just to the people involved, but to communities and to the individual person everyone is marching against. And of course, there are certain things I won't necessarily get into, because that's not what this video is necessarily about, but there would be reasons that I would stop watching someone. You know, that's up to your own personal discretion. I discourage the whole cancel culture mentality of trying to make everyone turn against someone. I just think it can be really toxic. It's not nice. It's not nice. So eyebrows take me a little while and a decent amount of focus. So I'm just going to charge through this one, and then we'll come back once I've gotten that one done. Okay, I'm going to get into some positives about makeup soon, trust me. I know this video seems a little negative, but that's part of the reason I wanted to make it, was because I have such complicated feelings about makeup in the makeup industry, right? So when I was talking about gossip, an interesting thing I remember from psychology class when I was in college is that gossip itself is actually a healthy thing that humans participate in. Healthy in terms of its communicative value and how bonding gossip can be between two people. So there are different kinds of gossip. There's positive gossip and negative gossip. Negative, I mean, they're kind of self-explanatory, but I'll go over them anyway. So negative gossip is where people are discussing a particular person who is not present in the conversation in the moment, and they are spreading negative information about them, whether it's true or not. It's something negative that they are sharing about another person with each other. And gossip carries, you know. Some people keep gossip a secret, but I think very rarely do people keep it an absolute secret, especially if it's juicy gossip, you know. And positive gossip is where you are talking about someone behind their back, but something positive about them. And I'm a fan of that kind of gossip. I don't like participating in negative gossip about people. I find it's more harmful than beneficial, especially when one person shares information that person they shared it with shares it with someone else. And, you know, that's how the negativity perpetuates itself. Whereas when you're talking positively about someone who's not there, it shares joy and happiness with the world. And I love it. Some negative discussions about people are necessary and important, but it's like I said, in psychology, it's actually a healthy thing. There are certain things that happen in our brain. I'm not a psychologist, so I don't know the exact details. I don't remember the exact details of what things it lights up in your body and brain and all that stuff, but all I remember is that it's actually a healthy thing people do to connect with each other. So it makes sense that gossip will always be a part of humanity. It's just, it would be awesome if positive gossip overruled negative gossip. So makeup companies, I find, exploit people's insecurities. You know, you think about when you watch makeup tutorials, or when you just think about makeup in general, you think about how it's advertised to cover our dark circles, to make our lips look fuller, you know, plumping lip products, right? And contouring your nose. And of course, there's also cosmetic surgery, which is another complicated issue. So I don't necessarily... Okay, let's continue doing makeup while I'm talking. I'm gonna do something subtle today. Something subtle and sweet. How's that sound? Okay. So I really appreciate if a makeup artist has had cosmetic surgery. I think it's really important for them to share that with their audience so that people know and are informed, especially people who are particularly impressionable. I think it's really important for those people who are watching to know what the makeup artist has had done. So even if it's just one video that they've posted at some point, so that people can search for it and find it, I think it's really important. Otherwise, you know, if someone's doing it for themselves and not because they want to impress someone or for someone else's perception of them, then I say, you know, sure, whatever. It's not something I would personally choose for myself. And I also think about, there's one thing in particular that bothers me about makeup, this insecurity with aging, period. So reducing the risk of getting wrinkles with anything you're doing, whether it's when you're washing your face, whenever you're touching your face, just trying not to make wrinkles. And I think aging is a natural thing we all do, and it would be amazing if the industry started to sort of accept and embrace age in everyone. But I think that would be a really hard thing for the industry to do when you think about how they market and sell all their products. Like, how are they going to shift completely to an age positivity? Like, I just can't see that really happening. But I want it to happen. I would love for that to happen. Cool brown. Go with these cool beige spots. Create some depth. So, of course, I understand the pressure that makeup artists have to look young and fresh for as long as possible because there is a lack of age positivity in the makeup industry. I'm sure there have been lots of makeup people who have felt as they've gotten older that either their audience has dropped away or that they're just not relevant anymore. That's a thing in also celebrity culture too, just in general, like with actors, and it makes me wonder about streaming too. Maybe that will be the end of me. I'll get to a certain point where people just don't find me relevant anymore and don't want to watch me. Anything's possible. I just try not to think too hard about those things, because if you get sucked into those holes, it's hard to ever push the go live button. So focus on the positives. What's positive about what you're doing and the people you're impacting and all that stuff. I also don't appreciate that makeup is generally pretty expensive. I'm really, really grateful for drugstore makeup because I would never wear makeup if everything was super expensive. But I still think even drugstore makeup can be pretty pricey, and especially for how inexpensive lots of products are to make, it's just obscene what some companies can get away with charging people. Maybe some people just love spending money like that on makeup. All the power to you. If you're one of those people watching right now, you love sinking thousands of dollars into makeup. Great for you. But it's not for me. Even if I got to a certain demographic with my income, makeup isn't something I would necessarily want to sink lots of money into. And that's just my own personal preference. But luckily, not everyone has to. There's lots of great stuff out in stores that people can potentially buy, you know? You don't need to spend an arm and a leg on a product. So what things do I actually appreciate about makeup? Now we finally got into that segment of the video. I thoroughly appreciate the fact that it can boost your confidence. And that is a beautiful and awesome thing. You know, anyone out there who feels social anxiety and then you throw on a little bit of makeup and then you can feel more confident going out and interacting with people on a daily basis. Awesome that makeup exists and can do that for you, right? And I feel that makeup can sometimes, especially since I started off with streaming, it being one of my sort of self-care type things that I did just for myself, I started to just embrace it. And if there was one particular day where I'm just having difficulty pushing going live because of whatever factors are influencing my life, when I sit down and methodically put on the makeup, I start to feel a little more confident and get more into the headspace of streaming and hanging out with my friends. And then I suddenly feel really excited. You know, it has the power to do that to me, which is awesome. It's super amazing, you know? So I really, really appreciate that about makeup. And there have been times where I'm aware of my face flushing, and some of that will come through since I do medium coverage. I don't do super full coverage makeup, but just knowing that the makeup is there to, in the background, support what I'm doing is awesome. It helps so much with my feeling good. It's not everything. It's just a background supporter, you know. Just imagine this little makeup mascot would look like on my shoulder going, "Yay, Booger!" When you feel beautiful, it instills confidence. I don't think makeup is just for girls. Makeup can be for people of all sorts of different genders, no matter how you identify. Even if you just throw on a tiny bit of concealer to cover up a few blemishes on a particular day where you have a few more pimples than normal, or if it's something to cover up a big scar that you feel self-conscious about, it can help you to go out into the world and not focus on that. Then it's amazing, right? And also, on the other side of it, if you're someone who just loves pounding on layer after layer after layer of makeup, awesome! If it makes you feel good and you enjoy the process and everything, awesome. Perfect. Right? It can be so good. So good. So yeah, I guess that's most of what I was trying to cover today. Now we can just continue the conversation. How are your experiences in makeup? Like, when did you start messing with makeup, if you ever did? Have you been compelled to? Have you seen anything about makeup people online that's made you consider using makeup or hate makeup? Or how do you feel about it? I'm curious. I'm very curious. I never would have envisioned that this would be me. If I was looking into the future and I was sitting at the point in my past where I mentioned I was not wearing any makeup and resenting the makeup industry and all that stuff. You remember when I was talking about that? If I were looking to right now and me talking about my experiences with makeup and how I feel about makeup, I would not believe that that's me. I would think, oh, it's not me. That's an illusion. That is a booger in an alternate universe who likes makeup. I would never like makeup. And here I am, I like it. I feel very complicated about it. I do have mixed feelings. Because I do think that there are a lot of negatives about the makeup culture, so to speak. I don't appreciate how it can cause such crippling insecurity in people, like it did in me. That wasn't a healthy way for me personally to live my life at the time. And I didn't feel good about how I looked without makeup, and it impacted my self-esteem in general. I can't imagine a world without any form of makeup. It's been around forever, and I don't anticipate it ever going away. I wouldn't want it to go away. Especially now that I'm in a place where I actually enjoy playing with it. It can be such a beautiful form of self-expression. You know? I've seen so many people do insane, amazing, transformative looks, whether it's with special effects makeup or just doing like an ultra glam, super smoky eye, wearing eyelashes. Wearing eyelashes? I'm not sure if I would wear eyelashes. They are popular now. Maybe at some point, if there's like a super cheap set at the drugstore, maybe I'll buy them just for fun. But I'm pretty happy with my eyelashes when I crust on a million layers of mascara. Which I'm going to be doing in a minute here. Do I want to do eyeliner? I'm doing like a pretty basic look today. Basic, she says, when she already put on 3 different eye products. Let's do some eyeliner. I really like this eye base. It's just like got a little bit of shimmer and it doesn't crease. So how's everyone's day going? How are you? Thank you so much for watching this far. I'm doing pretty good. Oh, and I'm working on both eyes. I just realized I was working on both eyes. I should have been working on one at a time. Now you can really see, this is how I do my makeup when I'm preparing for the stream. When I was rambling, I just went on autopilot. So would any of you be interested in me actually doing like a makeup tutorial and explaining what products I'm using and stuff like that? As if you are, let me know. Otherwise, I'll stick to just gaming and stuff on my channel. I mean, I will always be doing gaming on my channel, and I'm loving video editing. Oh my god. I think it's a great way to keep a lot of the streams that we've hung out together in kind of in an archival format that it doesn't get saved on Twitch. I feel like streams themselves, when we're all hanging out and communicating together, it's its own thing. And in a video format where it's in the past tense and you're watching it, you don't get that same interaction that is what I enjoy about streaming. And I think a lot of the reason that people show up isn't for a past tense video. It's for hanging out with the community that shows up and the streamer. Oh. Good job, Booger. Right on the eye. Luckily, this isn't my super sensitive eye, though. So I find with my eyes in particular, when I have just resting eyes, they are wider right here, and they kind of taper and get much narrower over here. So depending on how I do my eyeliner, it can actually make my eyes look more sad. I often do a wing, but I need to be careful about making sure my wing is really lifted, because if it goes down even just a little bit more than I intended, it can make my eyes look sad. But I'm still learning how to use makeup and what works best for me. Ooh, I'm smudging things everywhere. Oh well. I'm only human. If I'm using a pencil, I like to sharpen it before I put it back. If I got anything from my eye in it, I like to sort of sharpen that off. Especially if I'm not going to be using it again for a long time. Make sure that's safe for my eye next time I use it. And now, mascara. Alright. For a second there, I thought I had recorded the whole video thus far without any of my mic. But I think I have. I think we're good. Got this one on sale. This is actually one that I've seen lots of people review, and it's supposed to be really good. Okay, let's see how this goes. I think makeup can be so fun. It can also be weirdly toxic, like I was mentioning. So, in the 30 years of life that I've been on this planet, things that I've particularly noticed that have been really good for me personally have been living in the present as much as you possibly can, and kind of being reflective at times when it's necessary, and trying to move forward in a positive and enthusiastic way where you're going for whatever you're super excited about with 120%, while also considering your mental and physical health. Because I have chronic pain, and you know, it's good for me personally to push myself a little bit, but not too much. And I feel the same way about my mental health too. Like I want to be the best human I can be for myself and for all my friends who watch and hang out in the stream or here on YouTube. I want to be the best Booger I can be for all of you. It's really important to me to do that. And that's why I am in such a better place with makeup, is because I challenged my own perceptions about how I felt about makeup. If I didn't challenge myself to look at things differently, if I didn't stop and actively work on how I felt about myself and makeup and my relationship with it, I still would be in exactly the same position I was in before. Oh my god, that is a wad. That is a wad of mascara goop right there. Are you a wadful mascara? Oh my god. My god. And I try to do it heavier on the outside anyway, because I find that makes my eye look a little bit bigger. If I had only done one eye, then you could have seen the difference. I should have done it that way. Oh my god, am I going to end up re-recording this again? For 4th time? On the topic of makeup, any of you watch and follow any drag queens? They are masters of makeup. I tell you. Masters of transformation. Absolutely. Ooh, I like that. I like that even with just one coat of mascara. Did I get some on my eye? I feel like I'm ooh! I knew I was gonna drop something. I was waiting for that. In my last video I edited, I poked my eye with the mascara. Ow! Ooh! I phoebed out. Look at that gob. Look at that goober. That is a goober. I feel like I'm holding a cup of tea with how I'm holding my hands right now. You like a little mascara on your eyes? I will happily help. Okay, that's fine. Maybe, do I want any on the lower? Yeah, let's do a little on the lower. I do the same with the lower lashes, where I do a little more along the outside. I just feel so, you know, it's problem. Ooh, that was a little wad of phlegm there. Had a Boogerlicious moment. I think actually one of the reasons I like makeup so much too is that I feel zen when I'm putting it on, because some stuff does come in and out of my head, but I feel really focused. I feel the same way when I'm streaming too. It just kind of gives me some time to myself where I allow myself to live in the moment, because you sit down to do the makeup until you're done doing the makeup, and then you carry on doing other things. It's kind of like when you sit down on the toilet or you're having a shower, and you gotta sit there or shower until you're done, whatever you're doing in those situations. And those situations are a good opportunity to kind of free your mind from thinking about all the things you should be doing in that moment or could be doing in that moment, because you have to complete whatever you're doing in those moments. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like a practice in mindfulness. All right, let's put this away. And next step, rest the face. Bronzer. This is one thing I had no idea how to do until I watched tutorials for it. Maybe I'll go out on a date with Mr. Booger tonight. Or watch a movie in with him. Just make him stare at me for a minute. I mean, you can do makeup just for yourself. But sometimes when I put makeup on, I want other people to see it. And not just put it on for myself. Right. Now, final touches. Blush and highlight. This one. And a little bit of nude lip. Or do I want to go with like a crazy color? We go crazy color, pop of color, red. Really do like this color. All right, we're going crazy today. Sometimes you just feel like being bold. You do this. Put some tissue, or you can use your finger to get like the edges that are near your teeth clean. Sometimes I smile a few times weirdly, stretching my mouth out like that. All right, so here's the finished look. But yeah, so you can see I did put on a lot of different products, and like I said, I never would have envisioned that this would be me several years ago. I can't even. It's kind of fun sometimes to try to put yourself in a situation where you're looking back from your perspective at a certain time. It gives you some perspective on your life and how much you've grown and changed as a person, right? And that's one thing I want to finish the video off with too, is saying that we all change, and change is a good thing. It's almost always a good thing. I say almost, obviously, because there are caveats, but all the times that I've gone through major change in my life have made me change for the better, and makeup has been one of them. I really appreciate the art that is makeup. I see so much more in it. It's something that can be just fun, and you can just play with it, you know? You don't have to take it too seriously. If you want to take it seriously, you can take it seriously too. That's perfectly fine if that's what you want to do. I just like having fun with it. I appreciate you so much, and if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe, like the video if you like the video, or thumbs it down, you know, go ahead. That's perfectly fine too. How awkward am I?